battlefield was silent now, but it was not the silence of peace. It was the silence of death. The air was heavy with smoke, the ground broken with fire and broken metal. The human soldier walked slowly, his boots crushing ash and bone under every step. His rifle was low, but his eyes kept searching, always searching. He had survived the battle, but at what cost? His squad was gone, scattered in the firestorm. His radio was broken, his armor scratched and cracked. He thought maybe he was the last one alive in this part of the war zone. He felt the weight of loneliness pressing on him, and yet something inside told him not to stop walking, not to stop listening. The wind carried strange sounds through the smoke, pieces of voices, echoes of explosions, and then he froze. Because he heard something new, not the growl of machines, not the heavy stomp of enemy boots, but something softer, weaker, a sound like a cry. It was not human, it was sharp and broken, but it was alive. The human soldier's heart kicked in his chest. He raised his rifle, looking left and right through the gray smoke. "Who's there?" he whispered to himself, his voice almost drowned in the crackling fires. Then he saw her. At first, she looked like nothing but a shadow in the haze, but as he came closer, he saw her clearly. Small and slim, armor cracked, blade still in her hand. Her skin had a faint glow, her hair tangled with ash and blood, her breathing rough. She was not human. She was an alien girl. She stood on shaking legs, her body telling him she was close to falling, yet her eyes were locked forward, blazing with fire. She was ready to fight again, even though no one stood with her, even though her own people had left her behind. The human froze, his finger tight on his rifle. Should he shoot? Should he walk away? She was the enemy. Her kind had fought against his kind for years. He had probably killed soldiers just like him, but she did not attack. Instead, she let out another broken cry, her voice raw, almost like pain, almost like rage. "I won't fall," she whispered. But it was not to him, it was to herself. The human could not look away. She was young, maybe too young to be in a war like this. Her armor was too big for her small body. Her sword trembled in her grip, but she stood anyway, her knees shaking, her blood dripping into the dirt. A noise broke through the night. Boots, the sound of an enemy squad moving fast through the smoke. The human turned, and he saw shadows forming behind her, dark figures with weapons, coming closer, ready to finish what the war had started. The alien girl's head turned weakly. She saw them too. She raised her blade higher, though her arm shook so hard it almost fell from her hand. She knew she could not win, yet she refused to kneel. The human soldier's chest tightened. He could leave. He could vanish into the ruins. No one would ever know, but his eyes locked with hers, even through the smoke and fire. He saw something. It was not hatred. It was not the look of an enemy. It was the look of someone who had nothing left, who refused to give up even when the world told her to die. The human raised his rifle, his voice steady, though his heart beat fast. "You fought well," he said, his words cutting through the fire and ash. "But you're not alone." The alien girl blinked, her eyes wide, not believing what she had just heard. She opened her mouth to speak, but before she could, the enemy squad shouted, their weapons glowing, moving fast through the smoke. The human soldier stepped forward, his rifle up, his hand steady, his choice made. The alien girl, still weak, still trembling, stared at him. A stranger, a human, the enemy. And yet, in that moment, she felt something she had not felt since the battle began: hope. The battlefield was alive again, the silence broken by war cries and fire. The human soldier braced himself. The alien girl raised her broken blade one more time, and side by side, though they did not yet understand why, they prepared to face the storm together. And in that moment, a new story began. The suspense. The smoke thickened, the shadows closed in, and the human knew this was not just a fight for survival. This was the start of something far greater, something no soldier, no alien, no warlord had ever planned for. Because sometimes, in the darkest fire, an unlikely bond can burn brighter than any weapon, and that bond had just been born in the smoke and the cry. The air burned hotter as the enemy squad closed in, their weapons glowing red in the smoke, their heavy boots pounding the broken ground. The human soldier tightened his grip on the rifle, his breath steady but sharp, his heart racing faster than his mind. Beside him, the alien girl tried to lift her blade higher, but her arm trembled, almost dropping it, yet her eyes never looked away from the danger. She was exhausted, her body already at its limit, but she stood, small and fragile against the wave of shadows. She did not kneel, she did not beg, she only whispered again, her voice broken. "I will not fall." The human glanced at her, the words she had spoken before still echoing in his head. This girl, This alien enemy was about to fight until her last breath, even when she had no chance of winning. He had seen brave men in his army, but he had never seen fire like this in someone so close to breaking. He looked forward again. The enemy squad was now in sight, their faces hidden behind metal masks, their weapons raised and glowing like death in the dark. He could see at least 6 of them, maybe more hidden in the smoke. Their voices were harsh, loud, calling for blood. The alien girl moved her feet weakly into a stance, her blade held in front of her, shaking like a leaf in the wind. The human knew she couldn't hold them back, not alone, not in this state. And so, without another thought, he stepped forward, placing himself at her side, his rifle lifted, his voice steady. "You fought well," he said, "but you're not alone anymore." The alien girl's head snapped toward him, her eyes wide. She had never expected such words from a human, from an enemy. She tried to speak, but her voice caught in her throat. The enemy squad shouted, charging forward, the ground shaking with their steps. The human soldier aimed, his finger squeezing the trigger. The battlefield exploded with sound, the sharp thunder of bullets tearing through smoke. The first soldier fell, his mask shattered. The others roared in fury, firing back, red beams slicing past the human's head, burning into stone and dirt. The alien girl staggered forward, her blade catching a red glow in midair, deflecting it away, sparks raining around her. For a moment, the human almost couldn't believe it. She was still fighting, her body broken, yet her spirit still alive. She leapt at one of the masked soldiers, her blade flashing once, her enemy's scream lost in the fire. The human soldier shifted his stance, covering her side, his rifle spitting fire. One by one the shadows fell, but more kept coming. The squad was bigger than he thought, wave after wave stepping out of the smoke, their glowing weapons turning the ruins red. The alien girl stumbled, her legs shaking. She almost fell, but the human caught her arm, steadying her. "Don't fall now," he whispered. "Not yet." Her eyes burned again, a soft light glowing in them. She nodded weakly, then raised her blade one more time. Together, they pushed forward, her blade striking, his rifle cracking, the ground littered with bodies, the air filled with fire and dust. The human soldier felt his chest burn from running, from shooting, but he kept going. His body moved like it had no choice, as if some unseen force kept him alive. He looked at the alien girl beside him, her small body covered in blood and ash, her steps weak but her eyes never turning away. The battle turned into a storm of survival. Neither human nor alien cared who the other was anymore. The only truth left was this: they had each other's backs. And then, in the middle of the chaos, the smoke parted and the human froze. Through the haze, something bigger moved, something that was not part of the squad, a dark shape taller than any soldier, its eyes glowing like fire, its armor thick and black. The alien girl's body stiffened, her breath stopping in her throat, her lips parted, and she whispered a single word, a word filled with fear. "Beast." The human soldier frowned, confusion flashing across his face, but before he could ask, the monster stepped fully into the light, its massive body towering over them, its claws dragging sparks across the broken ground, its roar shaking the ruins like thunder. The enemy squad fell back, even they afraid to face the creature. The human realized with a jolt that this was not just another soldier. This was something else, something released into the battlefield to end whatever was left alive. The alien girl trembled, her blade almost slipping from her hand. She could face soldiers, she could face pain, but this beast was beyond anything she had fought. It was bred for war, bred to crush and destroy without mercy. The human soldier stepped closer to her, his voice calm but firm. "Then we fight it together." Her eyes widened, her lips parted in shock. No human had ever stood beside her kind. No human had ever said such words. And yet here he was, steady and strong, ready to face the monster with her. The beast roared again. In its red glow burning brighter, the ground shook with each step as it charged forward, smoke and fire swirling around it like a storm. The human raised his rifle, the alien girl raised her trembling blade. Side by side, they stood against the impossible, their bodies weak, but their spirit unbroken. And in that moment, in the heart of the fire, two enemies became something else, something stronger, the suspense. The beast's shadow fell over them, its claws reaching out, the air burning, the battle about to begin. Would they survive, or would this be their last stand together? The roar of the beast shook the battlefield, louder than the cries of soldiers, louder than the crash of fire. Its eyes glowed red in the smoke. Its claws tore through stone like paper. The human soldier felt the ground tremble under his boots, his finger tightening on the rifle. Beside him, the alien girl froze, her blade trembling in her small hands, her lips moving silently. She had known stories of this monster since she was a child, stories whispered at night to frighten the young. A war beast, born only for killing. No one ever defeated it alone. No one ever lived long when it appeared. Her knees almost gave out, her body weak already. But then she looked at the human beside her. He did not flinch, his eyes sharp, his stance steady. He turned his head just enough for her to see his face through the ash. "We can take it," he said, his voice calm, steady, like stone. The alien girl stared, her heart racing. How could he say such words? But before she could answer, the beast charged, the ground breaking under its massive weight, fire swirling in its steps. The human opened fire, bullets cutting through the smoke, sparks flying as they bounced off the beast's armor. He kept firing, aiming for the glowing eyes, the weak spots, but the monster didn't stop. It roared, swinging a claw through the ruins. The alien girl leapt aside, her body weak, but her instincts still sharp. The claw smashed into stone, shattering it into 100 burning pieces. The blast knocked her back, but she forced herself up, blood running down her arm. She screamed, her blade flashing. She ran at the beast, her feet barely steady, her sword striking across its armored skin. Sparks burst, but the blade only scratched it. The monster swung back, its massive arm nearly crushing her. The human shouted, running forward, emptying another magazine into the creature's side. The sound thundered, smoke tearing open with each shot. The beast roared, turning toward him now, its eyes burning like fire pits. The alien girl gasped for breath, her chest heavy, her body broken, but she saw the human standing tall, his rifle steady. She felt something strange inside her, something new. She wasn't fighting alone. She pushed herself forward again, her legs burning, her blade raised high. Together they struck, bullets and steel against the beast's glowing body, their moves unplanned but flowing, like they had fought side by side for years. The beast howled, its massive body thrashing, claws sweeping, rocks exploding, fire spreading. Every swing of its arms could end them, but somehow they kept moving, one covering the other, one pushing forward when the other fell back. The human felt heat burn across his arm, a near strike, but he ignored the pain, his focus sharp. He had been in many battles, but none like this, none with someone like her, this alien girl with fire in her eyes. She leapt again, stabbing deep into a glowing crack on the beast's shoulder. The blade sank an inch before the monster roared and flung her back. She hit the ground hard, rolling across ash and bone. The human sprinted to her side, pulling her up. "You still with me?" he asked, his voice rough but strong. Her eyes met his. "We," but blazing. I won't fall," she whispered. "Good," he said, loading his last magazine. "Then we end this." The beast charged again, its roar echoing like thunder. The ruins shaking, smoke and fire twisting around it. The human took aim, his shots cracking into its face, slowing it down for only a breath. The alien girl ran low, her blade flashing, striking its legs, sparks showering the ground. It screamed, swiping down with its claws. The human pulled her away just in time. The claws ripped the earth open where she had stood a second ago, dust and flame rising high. The fight was endless, blood and fire mixing into the night. Every step, every breath felt like the last, yet neither human nor alien gave in. Their bodies pushed past pain, past fear, past the weight of death pressing on them. And then, as the monster roared again, the human soldier's eyes caught something, a weak spot glowing faint on the beast's chest, hidden under layers of armor, but not fully sealed. "There!" he shouted, pointing. "That's where we strike." The alien girl followed his gaze, her eyes narrowing. She nodded, though her body shook, her voice steady. "Together." They moved, side by side, the beast charging, its claws slicing through fire, the human firing his rifle, every shot aimed at the glowing spot. The alien girl rushing in, her blade ready to pierce. The beast screamed, twisting, its massive arms swinging, the human dove, pulling her with him, both of them rolling across the burning dirt, barely alive, the monster's claws tearing the ground inches away. They gasped for air, covered in blood and ash, their bodies weak, but their eyes still alive. The alien girl leaned close, whispering through her breath, "If I die, you fight on." The human shook his head sharply, his eyes burning back at hers. "No, we fight together, till the end." The beast roared again, its shadow falling over them, fire blazing behind it, and in that moment, in the middle of blood and fire, the bond between human and alien grew stronger than the monster before them. The suspense, The beast raised both claws high, ready to crush them in one strike, the earth shaking, the fire burning hotter, and the human soldier knew this next moment would decide if they lived or died. The beast raised its claws high, the fire behind it glowing like a storm, its shadow swallowing the two fighters below. The human soldier felt the ground shake, his lungs burning, his rifle almost empty. Beside him, the alien girl gripped her blade with both hands, though her arms shook like thin branches in the wind. The monster's strike came down like thunder, smashing into the ruins. The world exploded in stone and ash. The human grabbed the girl, pulling her aside just in time. The claw ripped the earth where they had stood, leaving a deep crack burning with sparks. Dust blinded them, the air so thick it hurt to breathe. The human coughed, dragging himself to his feet, his hand still holding the girl's wrist, keeping her upright. She coughed too, her small body trembling, but her eyes never left the shadow moving in the smoke. The beast roared again, a sound so deep it rattled their bones, its red eyes glowing through the dark. The alien girl whispered, her voice sharp with fear and anger. "We can't kill it. It's stronger than anything. It cannot fall." The human shook his head, his voice low but firm. "Everything can fall, even this." Her wide alien eyes met his, searching, doubting, but deep inside, she wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe that for once the stories told to frighten children were wrong. The beast's heavy steps grew louder, shaking the ruins, each footfall echoing like a drum of death. The smoke swirled around its massive shape, hiding it but never fully, its glowing body always visible like fire in the fog. The human soldier raised his rifle, his last magazine ready. "We hold," he said, steady and sure. The alien girl forced her light cherishers eggs to move, standing at his side, her blade lifted though her arms hurt. "Then we fight together," she said, her voice barely a whisper, but stronger than fear. The beast struck again, its claws tearing walls apart, stone flying like knives. The human fired, his shot slamming into its face, sparks exploding. The alien girl ran low, sliding between the monster's legs, her blade cutting deep into its glowing ankle joint. The beast roared in pain, its huge body shaking the ground. It swung its leg, flinging her away like a doll. She rolled across the dirt, coughing blood, her blade clattering. The human shouted, firing to cover her, every shot aimed at the beast's chest, at the faint glow he had seen before. The bullets sparked but did not pierce enough. The monster turned toward him now, furious, its claws lifting again. The alien girl forced herself up, pain burning through her body. She grabbed her blade with both hands and screamed, leaping forward again, her small frame nothing compared to the monster, but her speed sharp. She cut across its side, the blade glowing with the heat of impact. The beast roared louder, its massive arms sweeping, catching the human this time. He was thrown back into rubble, stone cutting into his armor, pain exploding in his ribs. The girl gasped, her heart shaking. She wanted to run to him, but the beast's shadow loomed again, its glowing mouth opening wide, heat rushing out like fire. The human groaned, pushing himself up, broken but alive. He raised his voice through the chaos. "Don't stop, don't fall, keep fighting." Her eyes burned, his words cutting through her fear. She screamed again, charging the monster, her blade stabbing deep into its arm, the steel piercing flesh under armor at last. The beast screamed, swinging wildly, smashing walls, tearing earth. The human steadied his rifle once more, his last shots fired straight. And at the glowing spot on its chest, sparks flew, cracks spreading across its armor. The alien girl saw the cracks too, her heart pounding. "There!" she shouted. "It's weak there!" The beast staggered, but it was not finished. It swung its claws down again, breaking the ground, the shockwave throwing both human and alien back, their bodies rolling across ash and dust. Silence followed for a breath, the beast's glowing shadow standing tall in the smoke, unbroken, unstoppable, its red eyes burning brighter. The alien girl coughed blood, trying to stand, her knees shaking. We can't win," she whispered, her voice almost gone. The human crawled closer to her, his face bloodied, but his eyes burning like fire. "Listen to me," he said firmly. "It bleeds, it can fall, but only if we strike together." Her chest heaved, her blade shaking in her hands, but his voice lit a spark inside her. She looked at him and saw no fear, no doubt, only strength, only belief. She nodded, weak but sure. Together. The beast roared again, its glowing body tearing through the smoke, its claws ready to crush them once more. The human soldier lifted his broken rifle. The alien girl raised her glowing blade, side by side. They prepared, their breaths short, their bodies broken, but their hearts stronger than fear. The suspense. The beast lowered its massive body, charging like a storm through the ruins, stone shattering under its steps, its glowing chest cracking with faint light. This was their one chance, one strike, win or die. And in that burning moment, the human and the alien girl knew. This was not just survival, this was their last stand against the beast in the dark. The beast's roar still echoed through the ruins, but for a moment there was silence between the human soldier and the alien girl, silence filled only with their ragged breaths, blood dripping from cuts, dust clinging to their faces, their bodies bruised and broken, yet both still standing. The monster circled in the smoke, its red glow like burning eyes in the dark. It had not fallen, not yet, but it was wounded, cracks glowing across its chest where bullets and blade had cut deep. It waited now, watching them, as if testing whether they would rise again. The alien girl leaned against a broken wall, her blade trembling in her hand, her chest rising and falling fast, her voice weak but steady. Why? Why do you help me? The human soldier sat beside her, his rifle heavy across his lap, his own blood staining the ground. He turned his head, meeting her glowing alien eyes. Because no one should fight alone, he said simply, his voice rough but true. Her lips parted, shock flickering in her gaze. No one had ever said that to her, not even her own people. She was trained to believe that trust was weakness, that survival was only for the strong. Yet here was a human, an enemy bleeding for her, fighting for her. She lowered her blade slightly, her voice breaking. I am your enemy. My people kill your kind. He looked at her scars, her torn armor, her trembling shoulders, and shook his head. Out here, it doesn't matter what flag we fight for. What matters is, we're both still breathing, and if we want to stay alive, we do it together. The girl stared at him, her small body trembling. She wanted to deny him, to call him a liar, but deep inside she felt something strange, something dangerous, a spark of trust. Before she could answer, the beast roared again, the ground shaking, dust falling from broken walls. It was coming back for them, its massive body pushing through the smoke, its claws scraping stone. The human soldier grabbed her wrist, pulling her to her feet. Stay close, he said firmly. Her heart skipped, the warmth of his hand strange against her cold skin. She had been taught to see humans as nothing but monsters in armor. Yet this one pull, led her back to life. They moved through the ruins, ducking behind walls as the beast's claws ripped through stone, its roars shaking the night, fire glowing in its chest. They hid inside a broken shelter, crouching low, breathing fast. The alien girl clutched her blade, whispering, "We can't fight it like this. It's stronger. It will kill us both." The human looked at her, his eyes sharp, his voice steady. "Then we don't fight it head on. We set a trap." Her eyes widened, her breath catching. "A trap?" He nodded, pointing to the grenades on his belt. "We use these. We draw it in. We strike the weak spot together. It's the only way." Her heart pounded. The plan was dangerous, almost foolish, but the way he spoke made her believe. His voice had no fear, only certainty. She lowered her blade, staring at him. "Why do you believe in me? I can barely stand." The human leaned closer, his eyes burning into hers. "Because you're still here, because you haven't given up, and that's all I need." Her chest tightened, her throat burning with emotion she didn't understand. She looked away quickly, gripping her blade tighter. The beast's roar shook the ruins again, closer this time, its shadow falling over their hiding place. The human soldier grabbed her shoulder, whispering, "When I throw the grenades, you strike with all you have, don't hesitate." She nodded, her heart racing, her trust now chained to his words, his voice, his belief. The wall beside them exploded as the beast smashed through, its red eyes burning like fire pits, its claws reaching in. The human soldier leapt out, pulling the grenades, his body moving faster than his mind. "Now!" he shouted, throwing them straight at the monster's chest. The blast ripped through the night, fire and smoke exploding. The beast roared in pain, its body shaking, armor cracking wider across its chest. The alien girl screamed, running forward through the fire, her blade glowing in her hands. She leapt high, stabbing straight into the crack, the steel piercing deeper than before. The beast howled, its massive arms swinging, throwing her off, but the wound was real, glowing brighter now. The human rushed forward, catching her before she hit the ground, his arms steady around her small frame. "You did it," he whispered. Her eyes opened weakly, her voice soft. "No, we did it." The beast staggered, smoke rising from its wounds, but it still stood, stronger than either of them had hoped. The human pulled her close, his hand still gripping his rifle, her blade shaking in her hands. Side by side, they prepared again. The suspense. The beast roared louder, its glowing chest burning like fire ready to explode. And in that moment, human and alien knew the truth. They could not fight alone. Their lives were chained together now, trust the only weapon they had left, and those chains of trust were about to be tested in the fire of the beast's wrath. The ruins shook as the beast roared, louder than thunder, its glowing chest cracked and burning, smoke twisting around its massive body. It was hurt but not broken, and both human and alien knew the truth. This next fight would decide everything. The human soldier tightened his grip on the rifle, sweat mixing with blood on his face, his armor cracked, his lungs burning, but his eyes steady. Beside him, the alien girl leaned on her blade, her small body shaking, her breathing sharp and uneven, yet her eyes still alive. The beast took another step, each footfall breaking stone, sparks flying as claws dragged across the ground, its glowing chest pulsed like fire in a furnace. The human looked at her, his voice low but strong. "One chance, that's all we get." She turned her head, her alien eyes glowing faintly in the smoke, her voice soft but firm. "Together." The beast roared again and charged, its claws slicing through the air, its red glow flooding the ruins. She nodded, her heart racing, her trust now chained to his words, his voice, his belief. The wall beside them exploded as the beast smashed through, its red eyes burning like fire pits, its claws reaching in. The human soldier leapt out, pulling the grenades, his body moving faster than his mind. "Now!" he shouted, throwing them straight at the monster's chest. The blasts ripped through the night, fire and smoke exploding. The beast roared in pain, its body shaking, armor cracking wider across its chest. The alien girl screamed, running forward through the fire, her blade glowing in her hands. She leapt high, stabbing straight into the crack, the steel piercing deeper than before. The beast howled, its massive arms swinging, throwing her off. But the wound was real, glowing brighter now. The human rushed forward, catching her before she hit the ground, his arms steady around her small frame. "You did it," he whispered. Her eyes opened weakly, her voice soft. "No, we did it." The beast staggered, smoke rising from its wounds, but it still stood, stronger than either of them had hoped. The human pulled her close, his hand still gripping his rifle, her blade shaking in her hands. Side by side they prepared again. The suspense. The beast roared louder, its glowing chest burning like fire ready to explode, and in that moment, human and alien knew the truth. They could not fight alone. Their lives were chained together now, trust the only weapon they had left, and those chains of trust were about to be tested in the fire of the beast's wrath. The ruins shook as the beast roared, louder than thunder, its glowing chest cracked and burning, smoke twisting around its massive body. It was hurt, but not broken, and both human and alien knew the truth. This next fight would decide everything. The human soldier tightened his grip on the rifle, sweat mixing with blood on his face. His armor cracked, his lungs burning, but his eyes steady. Beside him, the alien girl leaned on her blade, her small body shaking, her breathing sharp and uneven, yet her eyes still alive. The beast took another step, each footfall breaking stone, sparks flying as claws dragged across the ground, its glowing chest pulsed like fire in a furnace. The human looked at her, his voice low but strong. "One chance, that's all we get." She turned her head, her alien eyes glowing faintly in the smoke, her voice soft but firm. "Together." The beast roared again and charged, its claws slicing through the air, its red glow flooding the ruins. The human rolled aside, firing every last bullet into its chest, sparks cracking across armor, smoke bursting with every strike. The alien girl ran forward, her blade raised high. She leapt, stabbing into one of the cracks, steel piercing deep. The monster screamed, swinging wildly, smashing walls, tearing stone apart. It twisted, trying to shake her off. She clung on with all her strength, blood dripping down her arm, her voice screaming into the night. The human sprinted forward, pulling one of his last grenades, his heart racing, his legs heavy. He threw it straight into the glowing chest wound. The explosion tore the air, smoke and fire bursting. The beast howled in rage, its massive body staggering back. The alien girl was thrown from its chest, spinning through the air. The human caught her mid-fall, his arms wrapping around her. They both crashed hard into the ground, rolling across the dirt, coughing in the dust. Her blade clattered away, her small body limp in his arms, but her eyes still open, glowing faint, her voice weak. "Did we kill it?" The human looked up, his chest tight. The smoke parted slowly, and his blood ran cold. The beast still stood, its massive body cracked and burning, but alive, its glowing chest peaked. pulsing brighter, like a heart ready to explode. "No," he whispered, steadying her against the rubble. "Not yet." The beast roared, louder than ever, its claws rising high, its body burning brighter. The alien girl tried to stand, her knees shaking, her body broken. "I can fight," she whispered, trying to reach for her blade. The human placed a firm hand on her shoulder, shaking his head. "You've already given everything. Let me finish this." Her eyes widened, fear cutting through her. "You'll die." He gave a small broken smile. "Then I'll die fighting." Her heart twisted at his words. She wanted to scream, to stop him, but the beast's shadow fell over them again. There was no time. The human soldier rose, his rifle empty, only one grenade left strapped to his chest. He looked at the glowing wound on the beast, its pulsing heart of fire, and he knew this was it, the final strike. He stepped forward, his legs heavy but steady, each step echoing across the broken ground. The alien girl's voice broke the air. "Don't leave me." He froze for only a breath, her words hitting deeper than any wound. He turned his head, meeting her glowing eyes, her face pale and weak, but her gaze burning with something more than fear. "You're not alone," she whispered, forcing herself up, holding her blade with trembling hands. "If you go, I go too." The human's chest tightened. For the first time in years, he felt something more than duty, more than survival. He felt the weight of trust, the chain between them stronger than steel. He nodded once, firm. "Together." The beast roared, charging again, its claws raised high, fire spilling from its chest. The human soldier sprinted forward, pulling the last grenade free. The alien girl ran beside him, her blade raised though her arms shook. The ground cracked under the beast's charge, stone exploding as it closed the distance. They leapt at the same time, the human aiming straight for the glowing chest, the girl stabbing deep into the wound. Her blade piercing like fire through flesh, the human shoving the grenade inside with all his strength. The beast screamed, its body convulsing, light bursting from cracks across its chest. The explosion ripped through it, fire pouring out in every direction, the ground splitting under the blast. The human grabbed the alien girl midair, pulling her close as the shockwave threw them both away. They hit the dirt hard, rolling, fire raining around them, smoke rising into the black sky. For a long moment, there was silence. Only the crackle of flames, only the taste of ash in their mouths. The alien girl opened her eyes weakly, her voice trembling. "Is it dead?" The human lifted his head slowly, his body aching, his chest burning. He looked across the battlefield. There the beast lay, its glowing chest shattered open, its red fire gone, its body still at last. "Yes," he whispered, his voice raw. "It's over." She let out a shaky breath, her body relaxing against his, her eyes closing halfway. "Then we won." He held her close, his arms steady though his body shook, and in that moment, surrounded by blood and fire, he realized victory was not just about killing the beast. It was about something else. About the bond they had forged in the fire, the suspense, the silence held, broken only by the crackle of flames, but deep inside both knew this battle was over, yet the war was not, and the bond they had just sealed in the fire would soon be tested again. The battlefield was quiet now, but it was not peace. It was the heavy silence that comes after death. Fire still burned in the ruins, smoke still rose in black pillars, and ash drifted through the air like snow. The human soldier lay on the broken ground, his chest heaving, his body aching. Beside him, the alien girl breathed shallowly, her small frame limp against his side. Her blade lay broken in the dirt, its glow gone, but her eyes were half open, faint light still shining in them. For a long moment, neither moved. They only listened to the sound of flames crackling, the battlefield no longer roaring with war, only echoing with loss. The human lifted his head slowly, pain burning through his ribs. He forced himself to sit, then pulled her up carefully, his arms steady. "We're still alive," he whispered, almost to himself. The alien girl's lips trembled, her voice weak but sharp. "The beast, it is gone." He turned his eyes toward the monster's body. The great war beast lay in the distance, its chest shattered wide, its fire heart burned out, its body still as stone. For the first time since it had appeared, it was nothing more than a corpse. The girl let out a shaky breath, her shoulders trembling. I thought we would die." The human gave a tired smile, his voice low. "So did I." She looked at him, her glowing eyes wide, her lips parting. "Then why did you fight for me? Why not leave me to die?" He stared at her, his face tired but his voice steady. "Because you fought when no one else did. Because you stood when the world told you to fall, and no one should fight alone." Her eyes softened, a warmth spreading through her chest. She had been raised to believe trust was weakness, that allies could betray, that strength was only found in standing alone. But this human, this enemy, had broken that belief with simple truth. She lowered her gaze, whispering, "If you had left, I would already be dead." He reached out, his hand resting on her shoulder, gentle, steady. "And if you had fallen, I would have been too." Her chest tightened, strange emotions rising inside her. She wanted to cry, but she had forgotten how. Instead, she leaned closer, her forehead almost touching his chest, whispering, "Then maybe we saved each other." The human closed his eyes for a breath, letting the silence hold them, and for the first time in a long time, he felt something beyond war, something beyond survival. He felt human again. But the silence did not last. The ruins shifted. Distant echoes of soldiers moving through the smoke, enemy voices, commands shouted. The war was not over. The alien girl's body stiffened, her voice sharp with fear. "They're coming. More will come." The human looked around, his rifle empty, his grenades gone, his armor cracked. He could not fight another squad, not now, not with her so weak. He pulled her closer, steadying her small body against his side. "Then we move, we survive." She looked up at him, her voice trembling. "You would carry me?" He nodded without hesitation. "I would carry you through fire itself." Her throat tightened, her chest burning with emotions she didn't have words for. She had been called weak, worthless, too small for battle, left behind even by her own kind, and yet here was a human, her enemy, who carried her like she mattered. She let her eyes close for a breath, whispering, "Then I am not alone." The human tightened his grip around her, his eyes sharp, scanning the ruins. "Never again," he said. Together they moved, slow steps through smoke and flame, the human supporting her weight, the alien girl leaning on him, each step heavy, but each step alive. They passed the body of the beast, its cracked chest glowing faintly in the ashes. The girl stopped for a moment, staring at it, her voice low. "My people told stories of this creature. They said no one could stand against it." The human glanced at her, his voice calm. "Then the stories were wrong." Her lips curved faintly, the first trace of a smile she had ever felt in war. "No, they were just waiting for us." The human looked forward again, steady, his voice quiet but strong. "Then let them tell a new story, of the girl who would not fall, and the human who stood beside her." Her chest tightened again, her glowing eyes watching him, and for the first time in her life, she believed she was more than just a soldier, more than just a forgotten fighter. She was someone who mattered, because she was not alone. The battlefield faded behind them, smoke covering the ruins. The war still raged in the distance, but in this broken place, something new had been born. Not an alliance of armies, not a victory of nations, but a bond between two souls, a bond forged in blood and fire. The suspense. As they walked into the smoke, her voice broke the silence one last time, soft but heavy. "Human, when this war ends, will you still stand with me?" The human looked at her, his face tired but his eyes burning. "I will stand with you until the end of time." And in that moment, in the ashes of war, the human soldier and the alien girl were no longer enemies, no longer strangers. They were something greater, something unbreakable, not alone anymore.